throw it over. This is my Honda crf250L review. This is my review, but it's not really a review. It's not comprehensive in any way, shape or form. This is just my thoughts, the gear I use, what I've done to the bike, what I have been doing with the bike over the past 2 years, what I like and what I dislike. Well, as you already know, the Honda CR250L is a 23 brake horsepower dual sport bike for off-road and on-road use. And I've had mine for, well, like I said, 2 years. I've done a lot of it, a lot of off-roading, quite a bit of road riding, used it in the trails, been on a few trips, used it to commute to and from work. Well, shall we start with a quick rundown, walk around of the bike? I've kept it pretty much stock, apart from sump guard. I've added some seater hand guards. I've got a rear rack, so I can strap things to it. I did change the rear sprocket to a +5, which gives me incredibly short gear ratios, but it is a lot more responsive off-road. And, well, downside on that is it knocks about 10 miles off the top speed, but you get a lot more low-down power, which is where you want it for off-road. So the things that have impressed me with this bike, the amazing things that have stood out. The headlight is fantastic. It is brilliant. You can just see the fuel gauge. It has a fuel gauge. My BMW doesn't have a fuel gauge. Why does my BMW not have a fuel gauge? The Honda Toolkit has everything you need. You can take the wheels off, change the brake pads, do the lot. It's a solid bit of kit. The only thing you need to add to it is some tyre levers, maybe a couple of spare tubes somewhere about your person, and you're sorted. But that's all that really stands out. The rest of the bike just works like any other off-road bike in its class. It's quite boring on road, but for off-road, that's where I have my fun on this bike. Now, there are some downsides, some problems, some nitpicky bits that I'm a little bit nitpicky about. So, the first thing, it's for £4,400 approximately in the UK at the moment. And it generally comes in Fisher Price red and white. I say that because it looks like you went to the early learning centre and bought yourself your first bike. The next problem that I found with the bike is the dashboard. You go along the road at night in a dark country lane and you look down to look at your dashboard to check your speed, look back up again, your pupils have dilated. The dashboard has a clock, it has the time, it doesn't have a nighttime mode, and that screen is bright. It really needs to invert. I wish it just had a nighttime mode so you could just invert it so it was just black and white instead of black and white. You know what I mean. I just wish it wasn't as bright. The weight is another issue with this bike. It's 150 kilograms. I mean, it says 144, but, well, you add 7 litres of fuel, that's going to put it well over 150. And for a 250, that's quite heavy. Andrew's DRZ is the same weight, but his bike's 400 cc's. This is only 250.
Yes. Oh. Yes. Oh. Hashtag made it.
But that's the only nitpicky things I have about the bike. Everything else is just fine. And the best thing, and the main reason why I got this bike, is I'm not the tallest rider. I'm only 5'5". I don't have the longest legs. But luckily the Honda is just the right size. It has quite a low seat for an off-road dual sport bike. But I'm fine with my 250. When I first started greenlaning, I used full knobblies to give me the best grip so I could just feel confident. I used Pirellis, which are 80% off-road, 20% road. They worked amazing off-road. However, on-road, they were dreadful. Tyre whine, bad grip. You would skid. It was horrible. I've opted now for some Heidenau K60 Scouts, and they work fantastic. I've been using them just over a year now. They last a lot longer than knobblies, believe it or not. There's no tyre whine, no vibration. They feel amazing on road, and they work off-road just fine, although they don't look very impressive, and the police didn't think I would get far at all.
You'll be alright, although your front's a little low.
What? Pressure wise?
Meat wise.
But I think I've done extremely well with these 50/50 tyres, and if you see any crash footage on this channel, it's just down to me being rubbish and not down to my tyres or the bike. So overall, I've used and abused this bike. I've used it for pretty much everything over the couple of years that I've owned it, and it's really never missed a beat. Whether this bike is for you or not, that's up to you. These are just my thoughts, and that's it. This video's been, 2 years in the making? So thanks for watching. Drop it a like if you like this review. Maybe I'll review one of my other bikes later on. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.